My name is Penelope Chatterton. Welcome to Awaken the Dream. My friends, Yolanda is back. Her name is Yolanda Zigarmi Martin. I'm getting good at that. There's a real flow to that name that I really appreciate. She is the creator of spiritualresources.info. And she is going to talk to us today about the Cape Cod spiritual resources that are available to all of us. And I want to welcome you to the show, Yolanda.
Thank you.
And I hope people saw the show last week that you were on, so you could, so they'll know who you are by face. And I have not seen you for years, and it's just like yesterday.
Yes,
so it's so good to see you. You're just a dear, sweet person.
Thank you.
And you have been a spiritual, you are, in the moment, just a beautiful spiritual being who is really trying to help folks connect with each other. And maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit about the website, the Cape Cod Coalition, or however you do this.
Okay. So the website, as you said, is spiritualresources.info, and it's an information site. Hopefully it's going to function as a place where people can be listed, people on the Cape and Islands and New England or wherever, what they do as for alternative healing. And it doesn't even have to be healing if you're into music and you use music to integrate body and spirit. Things that actually help people become total being and not just human being, but the total self. I'd like to have listed on the website, and so people can just go there and know what's available. And this came about in part because I've been here for 10 years. And I had no idea until just a few years ago of the huge resources on the Cape for just alternative ways of looking at things. Like on the first program we talked about asking the right question, how else can I look at this? Well, when you ask that, you might want to think, well, where do I go?
Exactly.
And so the website for now could be that place. Some of the things that I'd like to just kind of talk about are when people think about alternative healing, they think that they have to leave their doctors or leave what they're doing. And it's not about that. It's about becoming congruent with where you are now. So the way to start to expand your options is to start where you are now. Look at where you are now, and then examine the possibilities of other ways. But you don't have to abandon where you are. So,
what part of this is working for me, or where might I want to do some more thinking in an area that maybe this particular situation doesn't fulfill?
Well, exactly, especially in the health department. You know, you do these batteries of doctors, and everybody looks at you through their own little viewpoint, which oftentimes is myopic. They're looking at what they know, so they're going to only see that in you. And you get caught in this doctor, that doctor, and at some point you might want to say, well, what else is available to me? And there are, here on the Cape, it's enormous. I mean, the possibilities are brilliant.
Can we name some categories maybe for our friends that might let them perk up a bit about, oh, I might want to do this?
So one thing that just came to mind is Jamie Nash. She is a network chiropractor here on the Cape in Dennis, and she does network chiropractic, which is superlative for any kind of neurological problem. Lyme's disease. How many people have you heard about that say they have Lyme's disease and they can't go anywhere with it because there's nothing much you can do if you don't nail it when it first shows up? But network chiropractic is made for that because it works on very subtle energies.
Yeah.
And it helps your body, your nervous system, to come up with ways of handling what's going on where medication isn't intelligent enough to do that, but your body is.
Yeah, got it.
So that's an alternative.
Okay.
She works with ADD because that is neurological.
Okay.
Sciatic nerves, how many people deal with that? So would you even know to go there?
Yeah.
So
Zero balancing, you had mentioned.
Zero balancing, that's Marsha Mulder. She is brilliant.
Yeah.
This is a magical, holistic way of looking at your body, beginning with a skeleton, which is so important because where would you be without that?
We need it.
And it can help the body interface with the subtler parts of us. Now, most of us think of our bodies as being pretty dense and material.
Yeah.
But the actuality is, and the science indicates and proves, that our body is just patterns of light and information.
Yeah.
And if we're willing to allow that light and information to reconfigure itself, it can reconfigure itself into something more perfect. Not proper English, but the forefathers used it, so I'm okay, right?
Betterer.
Betterer. But to find a way for that to happen, if without having to, go into a meditation center and live there for the rest of your life to shift that. That's what these resources is about. We can't, we all can't just drop in our life and go in search of our spiritual self.
Think of all the different kinds of yoga there are.
Well, that's another thing.
Look how vast that is.
Linda Harmon. She's a marvelous masseuse. She does anatomy trails, which is a technique that works with the muscles of the body, and takes the, like a train, it finds out if you have a pain in your leg, that might actually be coming from a muscle in your neck. And this technique lets her find that.
Okay.
So when you go to her for treatment, it's not like a massage and you just go to sleep on the table and she makes you feel comfortable. She follows the train and works with the muscles, the deep muscle connections. A totally different experience for your body.
And yoga specializing, like hot yoga, wet, I'm sure there's wet yoga, there's gotta be. Do it underwater. We could
dry yoga.
We could have fun with it. But,
wet yoga, that would be the hot yoga where you kind of sweat in that class.
The old sweat lodge.
Yeah.
But just to think that kind of variety within the yoga field, massage therapists, and I'm bringing these up with you so our friends are going to say, oh, I do that, or I'd like to be a part of that.
Linda, I just want to mention about Linda. She does chair yoga for elders, for seniors.
Yeah, I've taught it for a long time,
so
and I love it.
You know about that,
But
how many?
I know.
Some of the older people that I know, they wouldn't. I can't do yoga.
Yeah.
And my thought is, well, maybe you can't. But
But
I didn't know about yoga. I know about chair yoga. If I had known about that, I would have said, yes, you can.
And it's a good workout.
It is a good workout. So you would be able to support that. So that's another resource for people that feel they're losing mobility. And
what about nutrition people? Can they be involved in this, nutritional counseling or anything like that, or not?
Dr. John Doris.
Oh, I know John.
You know John.
Yes.
Well,
and Christine Soley.
I don't know her, but
she's a medical doctor who works in a holistic field with healing disease.
Really important for people. You have to, no matter what we're talking about, whether we're talking about your physical body, your spiritual body, both these bodies need nourishment.
Yes.
And then, besides the nourishment, we are multidimensional beings. We have a physical body, and then we have these layers of subtle energy that create the vastness of who we are, that allow us to actually surf the world, beyond our little tender touches.
I love that.
So
whole concept.
It's brilliant. We are so amazingly brilliant. I can barely talk about it because
it brings tears to the eyes.
It does when we think about how vast we all are. And the way to access that vastness is to interface physical body and these other energy bodies that we have. People like Kathy Conley. You know,
Oneness
Kathy.
blessing.
Well, oneness blessing, brilliant, because that just really allows some tuning, you know, fine tuning, and helps the frontal part of your brain to expand, to receive more information.
Yeah.
But she does Rowan, which is a way to actually look at the chakras as energy centers, and then go in there and help you purge the hidden, held, dark places that keep you from being free.
Yeah.
And she
That's
also
awesome.
is incredibly fabulous polarity therapist. She does polarity. I've had a session with her, more than one. Every
Really?
time I'm almost off the table with
Really?
the awareness of, gosh, you know, I have energy in my body I didn't know I had.
Yeah. And
Because
help
they're
our
not
friends with
connected.
your particular expertise, or what you enjoy working with folks, if you will. I'm going to ask you because I
Well, before I answer that, I'd just like to bring
Finish
up
with
one
Kathy. Okay.
with Cynthia Bacon.
I don't know Cynthia.
Oh, Cynthia is a gift from the universe. She does quantum healing.
Oh.
And that's kind of hard to explain, other than she recognizes that we're light and information, and then she moves the patterns. And she can collapse the patterns, like in a science lab. The scientist collapses the wave that the electron makes, and then it reconfigures itself into what basically the scientist is looking for.
Yeah.
It's very cooperative.
interesting.
Also is the crystals. She not only does she understand that they are transformers for information, she knows what they do, what certain crystals do, where they come from, and how they can affect how you transfer and translate energy. So there aren't many people that do what she does with crystals. And she also brings crystals from all over the world to the Cape and sells them, you know, because people that really understand crystals, they're like, you want certain ones because you know what they do, you know how they can help you. And then you can't find them. But Cynthia has them.
Cynthia.
And if she doesn't have them, she will find them for you. And her name is Cynthia Francis Bacon, but I didn't have enough room to put Francis on there, and she is actually related to Francis Bacon.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Now, are these folks on your website yet? Or are they?
Everybody's listed on the web.